He flashed his headlights at me, thought I was gonna hit him. Little did he know, I'm Evil Punk, greatest drifter in the Wild Wild West. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Evil Punk here in Forza Horizon 4, and today I'm bringing you another drift video in another Mazda, again in the RX7, but this time, this is a different RX7. This was just released in the car expansion. I haven't done anything with this one yet, aside from the paint job. I would have liked to have used the Tokyo Drift paint job for this car, but I used that already on the other RX7, the 1997 RX7. So instead I went with this one. It's still a nice paint job. Very, very nicely done. Tons of detail. This is the 2002 RX7 Spirit Type R. Sorry, Spirit R Type A. So before we do anything with the car, I just want to take it out and... it's still, like I said, it's still factory tuned, so I want to take it out and see what the car can do before upgrades. So the stock car feels very grippy. My first thought with this car is it would make a really nice car to tune for racing. But we're not going to do that today. Today we're going to tune it for drifting. Feels very nicely balanced for really anything you want to do with it. It's a little lacking in the torque department, but we're going to fix that when we get to tuning and upgrading. Like I say, it feels very nicely balanced, and I'm having no trouble getting it to go sideways around these corners, factory tuned. I sort of like the stock sound as well. I think it's just a 2-rotor with the turbocharger. But we're gonna bring it back and go the other way now and get ready to start upgrading it. This is a true import as well. It's true JDM, right-hand drive. There's not a lot of torque to carry it through the longer corners, but like I say, it's not difficult to get sideways. It's just not enough torque to carry it through a longer corner. But it feels like it's going to be a really nice build. Nice little bunny hop. So there's not really a whole lot more I can think to say about the stock RX7. Up to speed you can get through some of the longer corners, but you do lose a lot of momentum because right now it's the drifts are more, because it's stock and factory tuned, the drifts are more handbrake than torque, so it's losing momentum each time I go sideways because I'm using the handbrake rather than torque. There's a little bit of sustain there on that longer corner, but it's, like I say, it's losing momentum in the end. Alright, so let's bring it back to the shop now and we'll start the build. I'm actually really excited about this one. I know I've done the RX7 already, but I don't know what it is about this one that feels like I'm going to enjoy it just as much as the last one. I mean, it could be the paint job, who knows. But it does feel very balanced. Like, I think I could do a race build with this if I wanted to. Oh, I went too far. Okay, so hopefully this doesn't take too long. I want to get the build done before the Forza Horizon sun goes down. So we're going to do a custom upgrade. And looking at the conversion... Oh, it doesn't... Oh, it is. So it is a twin turbo. So it's already twin turbo. I'm going to leave it with the twin turbo. Stock drivetrain, so it's going to be rear wheel drive. And I think that again I'll go with the 4-rotor racing. It's over double the horsepower. I really like the Turbo Rally in the Forza Horizon games. I think it's my favorite motor to use. But I think for this build we'll go with the 4-rotor. Plenty of options for cosmetics. I wouldn't expect any less for an RX7 really. So the cosmetics are just personal preference. These don't have any effect on the build. The only thing that would have an effect is the adjustable wing or the adjustable bumper. But I sort of like the wing, the stock wing, so I think I'm going to leave that as it is. So all the cosmetics are done now. Now we're getting into a little bit of handling and the performance side of the build. So it is a 4-rotor racing motor I've got, so I'm going to go with the race tire compound. We're going to need all that grip with a motor that produces that much power. As for the tire width, for now I'm going to leave it as it is. We'll see how it goes with that factory width. And I hadn't decided on a rim that I wanted yet, but these gram lights look good on this car actually. So we're gonna go with the gram lights. The rim size, I think I will put it up one size just for that little bit of extra flash. For a drift build, I think I'm always going to go with the upgraded track width. Again, the clutch, you always want the race clutch for minimal shift times, race transmission for tunable gear ratios, race driveline for weight reduction, and of course race diff so you can make the diff lock quicker. Race brakes, drift suspension for a drift build, race roll bars in the front and the back, full roll cage, full weight reduction. Oh, the only thing the 4-rotor has is restrictor plates, so we'll go ahead and remove the restrictor plates. Okay, now that we're all upgraded, I'm going to take the car out again. I haven't started any tuning yet, but I'm going to take the car out again for a second benchmark. First benchmark was factory tune, second benchmark is upgraded, and then if I need to, I'll start tuning. It feels like I may need to open up the gear ratios a bit, but we'll see here in a second. It's not doing bad so far. I'm There isn't really anything I feel like I want to change yet except maybe the gear ratio. Oh, stalled the car. Way to go, Evil Punk. I may add an extra PSI to the rear tire and stiffen the rear springs. So I get a little more... Ooh, so I get a little more oversteer. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to open up the gear ratios a little bit. And then 0.5 extra PSI in the rear tire. And of course, like I said, I'm going to open up the gear ratios a bit. And that will help me sustain longer corners. Full camber, how can I not? This is a drift build. And I want to stiffen the rear and add roll bars and the rear springs, so I get a little more a little more oversteer. You don't want understeer. You can't drift with understeer. Understeer is just driving straight into walls. Ride height, we're gonna put that all the way down. These I don't think. Well, I'll stiffen the rebound. As well as the bump stiffness. I don't plan on hitting too many bumps with this build. And stuff like this just makes the car respond more precisely. But tuning everything stiffer also means that if you hit a bump, you're more likely to lose control. But on a smooth road, you'll have more precision. Differential, I'm going to lock the differential. It's a drift build, so we're going to do 100% acceleration and 100% deceleration. So we're going to apply that tune and see what the difference is. Oh yeah, that feels a lot better. That might be... I think we might have gotten the tune on the first try. No problem kicking the tail out with torque alone with the locked diff. I am hitting the handbrake now and again though, just to keep that sustained angle when I need to let off the gas. See, so a bump like that, when you stiffen everything up like this for a drift build, a bump like that can really throw you out of control if you're not careful. So this build actually feels very nice on the first try, so like I said in the beginning, it felt very balanced and I had no trouble at all getting it to do what I wanted it to. Plenty of control with this build. Sometimes you still need that little bit of handbrake to get that really good angle that you want to get when you're drifting. But I mean that's okay, because handbrake and then gas, it's not a bad way to drift. Because the way this is tuned right now, the car feels very stable going around these corners. I don't feel like it's too squirrely, but it's enough to keep the car going sideways. And just opening up the gear ratios that little bit like I did has really helped me get through these longer corners and sustain angle a little bit better. Still gotta hit the handbrake sometimes, but that's okay. I'm okay with handbrake drifting. Nearly didn't make it around that van. I can't tell. I think this might be better than the 1997 RX7 for a drift build. It feels slightly better to me, but it might just be because this build feels a little fresher than the last one. I feel like I might have a little more grip with this build, which is fine. You want grip so you have that control when you're getting the car to go sideways. So the end of that drift was all handbrake. No problem carrying momentum with the handbrake. You just don't want to be on the handbrake too long, otherwise you'll just stop. Even after upgrading and tuning, this car still feels very balanced. Like, I feel like this is not really an easy car to lose control of. So enough torque to kick the tail out with just torque alone. I didn't need handbrake on that corner. I tried to do it again and it just sent me straight off the road. But that was pilot error, that wasn't the car. But this build feels very comfortable. The 1997 RX7 was, I think, my favorite build so far, but I think the 2002 RX7 is my new favorite build. I was gonna do a BMW build, but when I logged in this morning, I got a 2002 RX7 in my face, so I decided I had to do that. Well, I was deciding between an Audi R8 and some form of BMW or another. Like I say, this is a very comfortable build. I'm having no problem getting the car to do what I want it to. So no problem getting through a longer drift. The way the gear ratios are opened up the way that they are, it makes it easy to hit the end of the gear without bouncing off the rev limiter so much. Which is a nice thing. It feels nice anyway. No problem transitioning through the corners either, from one to the next. Sometimes when you do a build with a car that doesn't feel this balanced, sometimes transitioning through corners can send you in a spin, but you don't get that feeling at all with this car. Everything feels very controlled with this car, with this build. I mean, like I said, even factory tuned, it felt super balanced. And again, like I said in the beginning, you could tune this car for a race if you wanted to. I feel like this is a car that wants to do it all, really. Nope. Try to make it around him with just throttle alone. I was trying to stay off the handbrake, but that didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. Starting to get a little bit of rain here in Great Britain. He flashed his headlights at me, thought I was gonna hit him. Little did he know, I'm Evil Punk, greatest drifter in the Wild Wild West. I would have liked to have drifted right between those guys, but the timing didn't turn out right. No problem drifting in the rain either. So this build, you really can drift it any way you like to. You can use handbrake, all handbrake, or all throttle, or you can use both. I don't think I could be happier with this build, really. This is the corner that always gets me. Like, if I'm gonna make a mistake, it's usually right on that corner. It's a bit shallower than it seems. For some reason, I always feel like it's gonna be a long, broad corner, but it's not really. It's a really shallow corner to begin with. Alright, so that's the 2002 Mazda RX7 Spirit R Type A. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the car, what cars you like to build or play with, or maybe even what cars you want to see myself build and tune. And don't forget to drop a like and subscribe.